6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, I think, the Wyoming Hackathon 2019 was insane. I think it's so awesome. You got to talk to people like Charles Hawkinson and just hear people talk there. I've read about and seen, videos about.
I mean, the celebrity boxing match when Trace Mayer and I wrestled, it was a mud wrestle. It was an extraordinary experience.
For those who missed 2019, you've missed quite a cross-section of people.
One piece of advice I would give to the hackathon participants would be to definitely don't sleep.
So, you have to start with a problem that you really, really, really badly want to solve.
The hackathon's really great. I'm definitely coming back. Hopefully next year they have some fruits and vegetables so that I don't feel like a grease ball every morning when I wake up.
Well, if you missed 2019, you're a chump, and you have a chance to correct your mistake in 2020.
For example, when I showed up here, and I knew there was a Chilean leprechaun, I had to build a stair. Because I really wanted to capture that guy.
2020, we're going to do even more. We're going to have even more built up. We're going to have more companies. We're going to have more to give away.
I played World of Warcraft up to a point where I realized if I went any further, I was probably going to go full degen and,
It's very cold waiting with my snare for the leprechaun. I've been in this tree now for 6 hours. It's negative 30 outside. I can't feel my nipples. The whore. The whore.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Wyoming Hackathon 2020. That was a fun video. I have no idea what Charles was saying at the end of it, but it certainly made us all laugh here in the studio. We are getting ready for a hell of an event coming over especially the next several days, but given COVID, the world changed. It's a different event than what we were looking to do after the first two events. The 2018 event had about 400 developers who literally came from all over the world. The 2019 event inaugurated in the new University Engineering and Applied Sciences building, which is just like, it's like a beehive. It's built for hackathons. And we had about 400 developers for that as well. This year, we're almost double that. We have more than almost 800 unique registrants for the event. Now, of course, it's all virtual this year. Unfortunately, a few freshmen decided to go have a party at the university, and they had to they had to go into a lockdown. Gee, who would have imagined that freshmen would have had a party at the university? But anyway, unfortunately, we're not all together, and I hope that you and your friends and family are safe wherever you are. It is in some ways wonderful because we have a much expanded reach this year, given that everything is virtual. What's also interesting is that we were only at about we had about 300 registrants come in just since the Kraken news was announced last week. So we were definitely up versus last year. But as soon as the Kraken news hit, everyone said, "Oh my gosh, something's going on in Wyoming. I guess I better figure this out." And a big part, I think, of what is going on is that we've added some new events this year. So last year we had the developer conference and the hackathon, of course. We also had a business conference. And we're doing those this year again, but we've added something really important, which is the law conference. And that is going to create an opportunity for the lawyers who sort of said, "Oh, pshaw, isn't that neat what Wyoming is doing?" And didn't bother to spend any time figuring out that what Wyoming was doing was dead serious, that we were ready. And out of the blue, in the eyes of a lot of people, of course, it wasn't out of the blue, but in the eyes of a lot of people, Kraken got a bank. It's a crypto native company with a bank. And that is so exciting. That didn't come out of nowhere. That was literally 27 months in the making. And I know a lot of the folks who are here have followed the process and have been actively engaged. It is really important for me to thank all of you and all of the volunteers who have helped us along the way. This has been a labor of love for me. I'm chairman of WYO Hackathon as a volunteer. Everyone except for the producer is a volunteer. And we have to thank, most importantly, the University of Wyoming, because that is the most important sponsor for giving us the facilities and enabling the bounties to be paid for participants in the hackathon at a much greater level than you would think for a state of 530,000 people. We are punching well above our weight class, so to speak. It is also worth noting that these events have raised a lot of money for the university. We are in aggregate well over $1 million raised for the university from the 3 hackathons, 2018, 2019, and this one, as well as the contributions that have been made from companies like IOHK and another one coming that will be announced shortly. The University of Wyoming really has taken its place in blockchain, right up there with about a dozen other universities, including MIT and Cornell and Stanford. So again, the university is punching well above its weight class from that perspective as well. Lastly, I would say I want to welcome, because we have this year more participation from Wyoming school children. And I want to welcome all of you, but most especially the Shoshone Hackers. The Shoshone Hackers have come to WYO Hackathon from the very beginning. Each of the 3 years they've been participating, and that is thanks to 2 very special teachers, Tony from Shoshone and Jesse Smith, who are ensuring that your students have the opportunity to learn. Unfortunately, you're not here this year. You can't gather around like you did last year with Charles Hoskinson on a whiteboard. I watched that happen, and it was magical because I knew that at some point the students would understand the magnitude and import of the lesson that they were receiving from truly one of the pioneers in digital assets. And they probably at the time did not know, because literally junior high students might not know and understand who they were speaking to. But unfortunately, we won't have those magical moments again this year, but we hope to create many more, because we have actually invested time and money, thanks to our sponsors, in a professional virtual reality conference producer. So this is not just us going to be us looking at Zoom screens like we've all gotten used to and sick of. So with that, what I'd like to do, I know we have Representative Tyler Lindholm coming on as well. He's in a legislative meeting. In fact, both of us will be in legislative meetings all day, because the run of show starts with the Wyoming Select Committee this morning, and that runs all day today as well as tomorrow. And then the big shows get started really on Friday. We have Tim Draper coming as our keynote, and I'm not sure if the other keynote has been announced yet, so I will let you figure out who it is. And we will be starting both LawCon, which is giving continuing legal education credit for attorneys, and is up to several hundred registrants for that event alone now. And again, a lot of people didn't pay attention to Wyoming until all of a sudden it became very real. And then now a lot of folks are playing catch up, and we welcome all of you to come and learn about the wonderful things we've done here. We are also starting our business conference on Friday. We call it LawCon, BizCon, and DevCon. And then, of course, kicking off DevCon and the hackathon on Wednesday night. Jesse Powell's advice last year was don't sleep. Honestly, it was fun to watch him last year with the developers, because I don't think he slept. He had so much fun with the developers. This year, unfortunately, we're not all together. And so the hackathon is actually going to last longer. So we hope that you actually do get a chance to get some sleep. But do plan on Friday, especially if you're a developer competing in the hackathon for our prize money, do plan to spend a lot of time Friday night kicking off, finding your teams, and building some really, really special code. Lastly, I'll say, especially again, because we've got the school, the students online, one of the great things about code is it doesn't care where you came from. It doesn't care how old you are. It doesn't care whether you're male or female or what other characteristic defines you. If it works, it works. Code doesn't care about all of the things that are being thrown at us to try to divide us. We can come together and unite to build some really cool stuff. And that's what I'm encouraging all of you, especially if you are competing for the prize money, to roll up your sleeves, find a team of people. Now, because this is entirely virtual, you will be able to find people from literally all over the world. We did have developers come in from several countries. I know the university helped folks get visas to come in for the previous 2 hackathons. Please plan to come back next year. I'm hoping that we will be in person next year, but code doesn't care. Just form groups of people to compete that have the skill sets that you're looking for. And one of the great things about this whole effort for Wyoming is you literally don't have to leave the state. You can stay home in our beloved state and find jobs and work remotely. My entire company right now is working remotely, and we have not missed a beat due to COVID. And I think that's the new way that work is happening, especially in the technology industry, and that just plays incredibly well to Wyoming's core strengths. So with that, I would like to introduce Governor Gordon. Governor Gordon has been a tremendous supporter of our efforts here in Wyoming, and specifically WyoHackathon, but generally Wyoming's blockchain efforts. He deserves a tremendous amount of credit for recruiting Kraken. I was there in the very beginning when Kraken was in the meetings with the governor a long time ago. This was quite quite amount of time that was spent getting from point A to point B here, but we could not have done it without Governor Gordon's support. He truly has led the state in very well in a difficult time, and he is as committed as the rest of us are, including the Wyoming legislature, to building economic development for Wyoming. This whole initiative is about jobs. It's about bringing outside capital into the state, and it's about bringing revenues into the state. And boy, there are a lot of people coming to Wyoming, in no small part thanks to Governor Gordon. So let's hand it off to Governor Gordon and hear his welcome.
Hi, I'm Governor Mark Gordon, and I want to welcome you to the 3rd annual Blockchain Stampede event sponsored by the University of Wyoming. I really wish you could be here in Laramie. It's kind of a funny year, you know that. So we're thrilled that you're here online. I just want to take a moment to thank not only the University of Wyoming, but the UW College of Engineering and Applied Science, Department of Computer Science, College of Business, College of Law, and the College of Agricultural and Natural Resources. Welcome to the Wild West of where digital is going. You are at the core, and it's happening right here today. IOHK Advanced Blockchain Research and Development Lab, which focuses on formal verification, smart contracts, and secure hardware related to real-world blockchain applications. IOHK's financial support to the university is being used to create an advanced blockchain research and development laboratory. Like I said, this is where it's happening, right here in the West. You know, a couple of years ago, Wyoming got the notice of the global community, and I know there are many of you from around the world who are here knowing about what Wyoming has done with our special purpose depositories, our so-called speedy banks. We just approved our first charter this month, and it's truly exciting. It shows the development of what's happened with the financial industry, what's happened with the digital asset industry, and where our economy and future commerce is headed. And you are right at the center of it. Kraken, as I mentioned, was the first. We already have our second in line. That's Avanti, and Caitlin Long has worked hard to make sure that it gets up and running. And it's kind of fun. I talk a lot to my good friend in the South who keeps talking about Colorado being a technology center, but really it's Wyoming that led the way on this, and I am thrilled that you are here. I know we're going to have high school programmers and developers from around the world at this event. That's really what's happening as well. This community effort, this ability to work together, this ability to develop applications in a common platform and be able to develop really important kinds of advances. I'm really thankful you're here, and I'm glad to be the governor of Wyoming to welcome you to the 3rd annual Blockchain Stampede. Enjoy the next couple days.
Awesome. Thank you, Governor Gordon. And wow, that was awesome. That was really tremendous. And it underscores the themes we just talked about why Wyoming is doing this. And I love that he's talking smack about Colorado. With that, let me hand it over to the MC and co-host of this event, Representative Tyler Lindholm. Without him, none of this would have happened. I gotta say, he and I were talking last night, and he found a copy of the original Speedy Bank bill with all his scribbles on it. And I told him, save that, because one of the things the University of Wyoming will be announcing soon, I can sort of jump the gun, I guess, is that they're actually creating an archive of the creation of Bitcoin, as well as the whole Wyoming blockchain effort. And so we will be handing over documentation. All those of us who were there at the beginning and helped get this going will be handing over documentation that will be in a museum. And Exhibit A should be Representative Lindholm's Speedy Bank bill with all of his scribbles on it. I love it. Representative Lindholm, take it away.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Caitlin, so much. So welcome. Wyoming Hackathon, thrice is nice. We're doing this again, and we're going to keep doing this. This has grown into such an event in the state of Wyoming, folks, that we got kids coming from all over the state of Wyoming. On top of that, we've got developers coming from all over the world. And I hope that if you're listening from another part of the world or another part of the country, and if you love liberty and you love digital assets, it's time to move. Your state sucks, or most likely it sucks. So it's time to pick up your bags, come out to Wyoming, enjoy zero personal income tax, zero corporate income tax, the 49th lowest state property tax in the nation. All of these aspects kind of build together on why you should be in Wyoming. And I wish we were together right now. I wish we had that opportunity to maybe share some coffee or share a beer or talk about the latest trends in crypto. That would be awesome. However, coronavirus sucks, and so we can't do that. But we're going to plan it bigger and better for next year. But until then, we have just the start of Wyoming Hackathon 2020. We've got some big names that are going to be showing up and talking specifically to you about the different situations and different issues that we all face in this emerging market, and how we can actually best benefit from that. So I'm pretty pumped about it. I'm pretty pumped about some of our speakers. I'm pretty pumped about some of the news that's going to be coming out during this whole deal. It's going to be a wild show, and I really hope that you guys all take the opportunity to soak in as much of it as you can, and then also plan for Laradice next year. For those of you unfamiliar with Laradice, that's Laramie in Wyoming, but Wyoming speak is it's Laradice. It's over 7,000 feet above sea level. It's our one and only university in the state of Wyoming, and to my knowledge, I'm gonna actually have to verify this with Caitlin, but to my knowledge, I still think it's the only land grant university in the nation that actually has a blockchain certificate. I still think that's the case, and even if it's not, the rest of those universities suck. So come to UW if you're looking at getting a degree. So anyways, that's my welcome address. I hope to interact with you guys as we go through this Wyoming Hackathon virtually together, and be able to share some stories with each other. So I think we're gonna have Caitlin hop back on now, and we're gonna do a little BS.
We're gonna chit chat. We're gonna chit chat about what the importance of all this is. And last night you suggested that we get together in Laramie and down a shot of whiskey and celebrate, because man, it took a lot to get to this place. And again, I think, you were on another legislative meeting, so you didn't hear my remarks. But one of the things that happened is I think a lot of folks woke up. I was sharing some of the registration statistics. Just since the Kraken news last week, 300 more people registered. We're almost at double the number of participants this year versus last year. And granted, it's because in part it's virtual, but I think a lot of it is, holy cow, a lot of people discounted what, oh, little Wyoming was doing. Oh, that's cute. And then, and then all of a sudden, wow. Yeah.
We told them we had that opportunity, you know, and we took it. There's a lot of other states that have taken this initiative. They've got their little blockchain task forces, and they sit together and they pat each other on the back and talk about how great they are. Wyoming, we do shit. I mean, that's the whole goal of our blockchain initiative, is to actually accomplish things. So when we're talking about the special purpose depository, I know this is going to come as a surprise to those like Marco Santori and those guys, but there was actually work that happened before any charters were put into place. And this is one of those proud aspects of the Wyoming legislature. With our citizen volunteers such as Caitlin. Caitlin's our banner carrier, man. The fact that all this work has gone into place and we've been able to accomplish so much, now we're starting to see those fruits, and that's really exciting. That's why we're starting to see folks like Kraken show up, and I can't be more excited about that. I mean, that's bonkers, man. The first digital asset bank essentially in the world. It's right here in Wyoming. Yeah. And so that's a pretty big deal. And on top of that, this whole Wyoming hackathon started because a couple Wildcats got together and had an idea on a bill 3 years ago, and that was me and you that started that. So I can't be any happier about the fact that we're doing this right now. I mean, who knew that just putting records on a blockchain would have evolved into so much? It's pretty exciting.
Right. Well, and it's fun because I found you through a mutual friend. You had tried to fix the Money Transmitter Act issue prior to you and I meeting, and it sounded like the legislature just wanted no part of it when you tried it in 2017. And then by the time we came back a year later, the world had changed. The crypto wasn't viewed as the sole purview of criminals and terrorists and dark web activities anymore. And you were the one I must credit with spotting the opportunity. And you kept saying to me, what else can we do? What else can we do? What else can we do? And then, wow, look at what we've done, in part thanks to the crowdsourced ideas that we keep getting from the community of people who are reaching out to us and sharing their ideas.
There are ideas that came across on Caitlin's Twitter feed that are now law in the state of Wyoming.
Yep.
So, I mean, when we're talking about this stuff and we're, this arduous process of making a law, yeah, absolutely, it is a lot of work. I think it's important for everybody to know that you can be part of this. And starting right here, right now, today, when we go into the select committee, that select committee is all full of, so first of all, I should note that blockchain select committee is like the toughest of the tough in the Wyoming legislature. Like, if you're not a chairman of a committee, you're in leadership somehow. The majority whip, myself, is on there, the majority floor leader of the Senate, the vice president of the Senate. So, I mean, we've just got all these big dogs on there, and it really shows the passion in the state of Wyoming to help this industry thrive right here in the cowboy state. And it's kind of exciting that we now do, like, we got the 3 C's in Wyoming, right? We do coal, we do that damn good. We cowboy, we do that better than anybody else. And now we do crypto, and we do that by far better than anyone else. And I totally forgot to say this, but you mentioned Colorado earlier, and the governor had mentioned how what the hell is that governor's name down there? It doesn't matter. Yeah, Polis. Yeah,
he's pro blockchain, so yeah, he's not all bad.
Yeah, he's not all bad, but it's still. I gotta say this. I just can't help it. It still sucks to be a sheep. It does.
That's a reference for those of you who are not familiar. Colorado State University is their motto is the sheep, and it's we've had a long rivalry between the Cowboys and the sheep. And usually the Cowboys win, and there's actually a football trophy called the Bronze Boot that goes to the winner of that cross-state rivalry.
That's
and
right. That's right.
Wyoming's had it for the last several years.
And we also got to mention our buddies down at ETH Denver. Those guys put on a heck of a show down at Denver every spring, and it's really a great hackathon. So on top of the Wyoming hackathon, keep it in mind for next year's ETH Denver. Hopefully that's not socially distanced and virtual. I really hope that we never do this again so we can get together and share ideas. I mean, virtually is nice, but we've all worked remotely before. This sucks. You know, we'd rather be in person. Thankfully, we're going to keep you guys entertained because we've got some big guns coming up. So it's
we
fun.
sure do. We sure do. Let me ask one closing question, which is what's next for the state of Wyoming? Given everything we've done, you're exiting the legislature, and what is next? How do we defend the turf? Is there any chance that any of it gets rolled back? And more importantly, what's next? What do we do next?
That's a super good question, Caitlin, because the reality is with me exiting, there's been some folks that have come forward. Notably, there was an article that was even done in Forbes on this about, are the blockchain laws at risk? And so absolutely not, right? So
they all passed by veto-proof majorities, as I recall.
Right.
I mean, maybe one or two were not veto-proof. You know, we had so many votes on 20 different bills, but
that's right.
Yeah,
that's
but I mean, they passed by such overwhelming majorities. They're not going to get repealed, especially now.
Wyoming legislature has got the bug for blockchain. They really do. And so everybody's bought in on this. The Wyoming legislature is going to keep plowing ahead and keep plowing forward and keep developing this economically so that we can hold on to that tiger's tail so that you don't have a choice about moving to Wyoming. That's the goal, right? You're not going to have a choice. If you want to make money, boom, right here. So yeah, I think we're in pretty good shape. As far as what's next, though, I've still got this passion that I think the next big thing that has to happen is specifically going to be none of your business, Colorado. I ain't telling you shit. No, it surrounds issues at federal levels, and really, I think the biggest thing that we can handle would be know your customer advantages. We have to get that figured out, and thankfully, this is why you guys need to stick around. I think it's around noon on Saturday. We've got a special guest coming in that's about to be the next U.S. Senator. And so definitely pay attention to Cynthia Lummis and her remarks, because, folks, I think we've got a new champion at the federal level that's going to defend Wyoming's turf and take the ball and move it even farther. So
yeah, and just exciting. To be clear, we're not endorsing anyone. But Representative Lindholm has been a pretty outspoken supporter of the candidate for the U.S. Senate seat, former representative of Wyoming, Cynthia Lummis. Her son-in-law is a Bitcoin developer, currently working for Unchained, and he was on the Wyoming blockchain task force previously. So. Yeah, she's actually attended Satoshi Roundtable. So I think it was 2013 too. She's got some pretty good Bitcoin bona fides. So we certainly welcome the potential that she ends up in that Senate seat. And obviously not endorsing her, but Mayrav Ben David, who is running against her, is also pretty pro blockchain. So we really can't lose here in Wyoming with the with our representatives at the federal level. I like the idea of the pivot, but let me just close by saying we're about to open the Wyoming Blockchain Select Committee. So Representative Lindholm and I will be migrating our computers over to that shortly. But we have one last video before we get to that. And one of the big things we will be taking up today is identity. That's one of the things where a state can really help from the perspective of identity, and that gets at the know your customer rules that the banks have to follow, as well as some protecting digital identity against cell phone SIM swapping. These are the sorts of things that are on the agenda of the Select Committee now. So with that, why don't we close and go to our video, and then we can hopefully the Select Committee will be starting. We usually start a couple minutes late, so hopefully there's not dead time, but we'll be right over there as soon as possible. Thanks, folks. Enjoy yourselves and have a great hackathon.